So welcome back. In this video we will going to talk about the pathophysiology of the typhoid fever. So first of all, the person contracts the disease by ingesting contaminated food. Okay. Now along with that contaminated food, the ingested bacilli enters inside the body, and those ingested bacilli invade the small intestinal mucosa. Okay, and then it will be taken up by the macrophage and transferred to the regional lymph node. Okay, so inside that lymphoid tissues, Salmonella typhi multiplies. Then they remain intact with enterocyte and M cells, which is our ileal PR patches, important part of immunology during the first to third week of the incubation period. And during that time, symptoms like diarrhea appears. Okay, so first of all, it will enter via contaminated food or contaminated water. Now those ingested bacilli will invade the intestinal mucosa. Okay, now from there it will be taken up by the macrophage and transferred to the regional lymph node. Okay, and in the intestinal regional lymphoid tissue, Salmonella typhi multiplies. They remain intact with enterocyte and M cells, ileal PR patches during the first and third week of the incubation period, which starts the symptoms like diarrhea. Then after the end of the incubation period, bacteria enters the bloodstream, which is the onset of the bacteremia and onset of the typhoid fever. Okay, after that, from those blood circulation, it can invade gallbladder, it can invade biliary system, it can invade lymphatic tissue of the bowel and multiply in high number. Okay, then it will pass into the intestinal tract, and from there it will be outside in the body via stool. Okay, during the bowel movement. Okay, so first it will enter our body via ingestion of the contaminated food. Now those ingested bacilli will invade the intestinal mucosa. Then it will be taken up by the macrophage, which are present in those mucosa, and it will be transferred to the regional lymph node. Okay, now Salmonella typhi will multiply in those intestinal lymphoid tissues. Now they remain intact with enterocytes and M cells, ileal PR patches during the first to third week of the incubation period, which facilitates diarrhea. And after the end of the incubation period, bacilli enter the bloodstream, which is the bacteremia phase and onset of the typhoid fever. Okay, now after that, bacteria will invade the gallbladder, biliary system and lymphatic tissue of the bowel and multiply in high number, and then they will be passed into the intestinal tract, and then from there it will be outside the body via stool. Okay, so that is all about the pathophysiology of the typhoid fever. So I hope this video will be helpful. Thank you.